Hi everyone, I am back and I'm here to talk to you today about what it is like to date an Aquarius man. So, I have actually been avoiding making this video 100%, and it's because, well, there's a couple reasons. And the main reason is because Aquarians are very different depending on the rest of their chart, or at least I have found. And if I look tired, it is because I am tired, okay? I live in Canada. It's been snowing. It was my birthday on Sunday, so I've been celebrating for you know, since Friday or something. So I am very tired. I just got a job promotion as well, where I work. So I've been just working a lot. So, and I thought, you know what, Pam, you've got to film this video. So please, please, please forgive me. And sorry, before I continue as well, someone commented on my video and asked if I do personal readings. And I do them, and I can't find the comment. I feel so bad. And it was this gentleman. I think he was wearing like an orange shirt or something. But anyways, I I tried to respond, and then I I don't know what happened, but it like my computer was messing up. I couldn't respond, and I tried to find the comment again, and I couldn't find it. So, anyways, if you do want a private reading, please email me at for the love of confidence at gmail.com, and I would be happy to do that for you. Okay? Okay, so the reason why I have not wanted or not been super excited about making this video is because I like to be right all the time. And this is a tough one because Aquarians are very, very different. I mean, there's a ton of similarities, and they can be very different depending on which Aquarius we're talking about, right? To me, the Aquarian is like the poet. Um, they are, I don't want to say the hippie because I feel like, the word hippie can have like not the best connotation, but the philosopher, the go with the flow sign. But the funny thing about Aquarius is that even though they are this go with the flow sign, they are quite serious as well, or they can be. And so Aquarians are so very understood. So very understood. Um, their sign is represented by the water bearer, okay? And you may remember the two waves, right? So many people think that Aquarius is actually a water sign. It's not. So I feel like that really just goes to show you how misunderstood Aquarians are. I mean, I meet Aquarians all the time, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm a water sign." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're an air sign," right? So hopefully that kind of orchestrates how kind of difficult this is to explain and their different qualities because they are quite watery and quite airy at the same time. So it's a little bit tough to really pin them down. It's a little tough to say that they are this way because as soon as you say that they are one way, they've like already changed, if that makes sense. And that's the way that they like to be. They never want to be in the status quo. They always want to stand out. They always want to be different. They want to be the smartest without having to reveal anything so that they can stay in that category, if that makes sense. They like to sometimes keep a lot of their ideas to themselves. And I've also found that sometimes they can come off as being not that intelligent because of that. They don't want to share their genius with the world, if you will. So the lower functioning energy of an Aquarian mm, would be someone that maybe isn't honest, is not remotely sure of what they believe in kind of a negative way. I don't mean in the positive version of that, by the way, would be, well, things change and energy is always changing, things are always changing. That would be kind of a positive, like still having your core belief systems or something. And that could just be one thing. That could be universe, energy, or that things are always changing, if that makes sense. Whereas the lower functioning energy of that is like, oh, things are always changing, but it's almost a reason to not accept responsibility. The thing with an Aquarius man is this. If you want to know whether he's a good Aquarian or not, you want to see, and honestly, like I always say, I feel like, and this is the gift of astrology, by the way, the study of astrology is that each sign teaches us something. And what is that something, right? So it applies to everyone, I think, honestly. And do they take responsibility for their life? Do they take responsibility for everything that's happened? If they are bashing their ex-girlfriend, for example, they are probably a shitty Aquarius, okay? And forgive me, this is how I speak. So if you don't like me, that's okay. You don't have to watch this, right? And if they take responsibility for the things that no normal person would even take responsibility for, you have found the golden nugget of Aquarians. Because that means that they really are tapped into that higher realm, that higher existence, right? Aquarius, kind of like Sagittarius, is another sign where the fact that the proof that they love you might be that they had to let you go, right? A lot of now, and there are kind of two Aquarians. Well, there's more than two. And there are Aquarians that are so go with the flow, kind of like what I was just talking about, where they really are, they're more capable of having open relationships and they don't really see anything long term. And then there's the other group of Aquarians that really believe and subscribe to the twin flame theory, right? Where there is another half to their whole. So I'm going to be talking about those Aquarians because those are just the ones that I personally relate to the most. So the Aquarians that believe that they have like a twin flame or another half, they won't necessarily tell you that. They might. What they're looking for is to see if you are at their level yet. They want to know that you are at their level. They are so smart that they play this little game, and I don't think it's a game, it's just my way of speaking. They play this little game, I guess you could say. They do this thing where they don't say anything. So maybe you're thinking, oh, I heard Aquarians are so smart. That's weird. This one doesn't seem that smart. I mean, I know he's not stupid, but, oh no. He's smart. He knows exactly what he's doing. He doesn't want to let you know exactly what those key things are that would determine whether or not you are the other half. Does that make sense? I really hope that this makes sense because this is like the Aquarius secret of the lifetime of all lifetimes. So they won't tell you what those things are. And sometimes they come off like maybe not being that smart. And are there Aquarians that are not smart? Of course there are, right? I'm not saying that. And they'll do this because they are serious. The Aquarians that believe that there's another half, they like had a dream about it, or they've had this intuition their whole life, or something came to them about this, so they believe in it so wholeheartedly. Some of them, it's unconsciously, that they will not reveal these things. For example, it could even be their eating habits. It could be something small like that, like they're vegan, and they know that if you're not vegan, it's not going to work. That might not even be something that they're super forthcoming about, right? They are so tricky in that sense. Now, to go back for a moment, because I think that all that stuff is great, and to go back for a moment, the Aquarians that are not the best, and sometimes it doesn't mean that they're bad. To be honest, I don't know that many Aquarians, and again, not saying they don't exist. I have personally not met many Aquarians that I would say are evil or like terrible people. Personally, of course they do exist. However, I will say this. I've met Aquarians that I don't really, I see what they're doing, let's say. A lot, the player Aquarian men, the way that you can spot them is responsibility. Do they take it or do they not? If they don't, get out of there. The other way that you spot them is, are they going through the motions with you? Are they taking you to their spot where they take everyone? Because once an Aquarius figures out the best way, because remember, this is a sign of intelligence. This is the sign of the philosopher. Once they figure out what they think is the best method of doing something, they think that it's the best method, and therefore they want to replicate it. What does that mean? It means they've gone on many dates with many girls, for example, and they realize that going to this one restaurant, saying these 5 words, and then going to this other coffee place was kind of like the golden ticket, let's say. It's the thing that really worked the best. So then they'll just they'll do that with every girl, right? And then they become great masters at this thing. So it's a little tricky to detect if that's what's happening, and you're going to have to use your intuition on this one. I'll give you an example. I dated an Aquarian once. This actually happened. And he wasn't that bad, honestly. He just wasn't really my type. And we went, oh God, this was years ago. So anyways, and I knew him for years. We were friends before, and then we started dating. And so we went to his house. We had gone out for dinner, I think. We had gone to his house, and when we got to his house, for some reason, I started to feel really, I can't describe it, very, like, not comfortable. I have my moon in Leo, so I really like being, like, the only one that has been to this place, or the only one you've said this to, even though it's a fantasy. Like, I'm totally aware of this. It doesn't have to be that. It's just like, maybe the only one who you've gone to this one coffee place with. It doesn't have to be that intense, right? I just don't like feeling like this is not the first time, let's say. I can't stay. Oh God, I think that's like just gross. Anyways, so we go to his house, and out of nowhere he puts on this music. Now here are the keys. He's known me for a while at this point. He knows what kind of music I like. The music that he put on was not music that I remotely like at all. He stands up, he looked at me, and he goes, "Come slow dance with me. I do not enjoy that type of slow dancing that he was doing. Like, it's just not, I'm not, yeah, it's just not my thing, right? Like, I'm not into that, like, weird, I don't know, it's just not my thing, okay? This, like, pretend romance thing. I'd rather just be, like, a passionate moment. And so he does this, and something about it, I'm thinking, like, what's wrong with you? Here you have this guy, he's being so romantic, he really likes you, and you're not appreciating it at all. And I couldn't figure out what this feeling was. So I stand up anyways, and I'm like, no, come on, stop, dance with him. And he is a really nice guy, by the way. So we're dancing, and I just can't get into it. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I had this, like, vision of him doing this with, like, other women, not just me. I just jumped back and I looked at him and I said, this is not the first time that you've done this exact thing, is it? And he went, what? What are you talking about? And I'm like, you do this. I'm like, oh my God, this is your thing. Like, this is a thing that you do, the song, and it just felt a little constructed, honestly. And he was floored. He's like, how did you know that? I can't believe it. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. Suffice it to say, we did not date. And you've got to watch that with Aquarians, okay? Of them going through the motions. And I will tell you why, okay? I'll tell you why this is important. There are a lot of Aquarians that have a I want what I can't have complex. Whenever you look at people that are very intelligent, that get what they want, that manifest everything that they want, let's say, they kind of want all the things that they can't have because everything's so easy. So I've known Aquarian men who have ended up dating the girl that really liked that, fifth person that he's dancing with, let's say. And yeah, he dates her, but then guess what? He, in the lower energy, isn't like committed. Like, maybe he stays committed, but I mean, like, mentally is always thinking about this other person or thinking about that twin flame that might exist, if this makes sense. So they want, what I'm saying here is again, it goes back to what I started with. They want to make sure that you are on their level. They will still date you, okay? If you're not, it's just they'll always be waiting for that other half to return to them, if that's the way that they think. Not all of them think that way because they can be quite different, okay? Do they work on themselves? Have they done a lot of self-growth? That's a good Aquarian, okay? And even there's a fine line. Are they doing, like, way too much? Like, have they dedicated every moment of their life to trying to figure things out because they can't get in touch with anything, okay? Because there are also Aquarians that are very disconnected. And so the self-help thing might look good, but if they're almost addicted to it and they can't function without it, believe it or not, that's actually another sign of not great Aquarian. See, these guys are very hard to figure out, which is why this video is a little tricky for me. So I really hope that this is helping you guys. Great Aquarians are amazing, and I love them, especially being paired with another air sign or another fire sign. I have a secret about Aquarians. And I'm not sure how much of a secret this is. Honestly, I don't think it's that intense. And the secret about Aquarians is that, because any Aquarius that's watching this, I almost feel like they're not going to agree with me. They're going to be like, that's not true. So I will just say that, and if you don't, fine, this is my own view. The secret in my mind about Aquarians is that they have this deep yearning to be worshipped. It's so tricky though, because if you think about it, it's almost like a paradox, because what I just said earlier was a lot of them want what they can't have, in a way, right? I feel like that has a very unhealthy connotation, but it also is like they want this person that's at their level at the same time. And so to be worshipped and want what you can't have is just such a tough thing to deal with. So then it's almost like it can be this self-perpetuating thing. So how do you combat this as a woman, or if you're the man or woman in the relationship or wanting to pursue a relationship with them? You really have to cultivate your own sexuality, your own existence. You must cultivate who you are on a deep existential level, okay? You must have boundaries. You must be open, and because you're so open, you must have these strong boundaries, okay? You must be there for them. Sometimes they kind of go like this when they're dating. They kind of like, oh, let's go out, and then they disappear for a bit. Sometimes they do that. And you must be their other half. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And then once they know that, you in that genuine, because there's a difference between needing someone and worshiping them in this unhealthy way where it's like that you need them. You can't exist without them. And you can exist without them. It's just karmically you're brought together and you're worshiping them for being the amazing person that they are in that moment. And then once you're finished worshiping them, you go back to being, to whatever you're doing before that, if that makes sense. Or I don't think that I'm explaining this in a way that an Aquarian would appreciate. And I'm just telling you right now, it's the moon in Leo. That's all, it's all it is. Just, blame it on the moon in Leo. It's the way it's coming out. It's just worship them, make it genuine. It's a genuine third dimensional worship, or it's a genuine otherworldly worshiping that's happening, like your soul recognizes its counterpart. I really hope that this makes sense, because I am actually having a bit of a tough time explaining this. So what is your take on this? What do you guys think? Have you ever dated an Aquarian? I love Aquarians. I think that they are awesome. I think that their ability to be so attached and detached at the same time whenever they need to be is truly remarkable. And I know that I could personally learn a lot from that ability. And yes, let me know if you like this video. Please subscribe, like, and I hope you guys are all having an awesome day, an awesome week, and I love you all. Thank you so much. Bye.